Hello again, Michael Freeberg here from beautiful North Carolina. Today I'll be doing a second travel related shave video using products I just took on a recent trip overseas. Again, I tried to pick products I think would make it easy to travel light, use some sort of lower end products that if, for example, they happen to get lost or maybe stolen, it really wouldn't be much of a loss. So I returned for my business trip back to beautiful Poznan, Poland, where I picked up, last time I was there, this Wilkinson Sword Classic, a two-piece razor, which I'll put the blade in just a moment. I also brought with me a small travel container of soap. This is the Dapper Dragon Tiamat. Notes of amber and vanilla. It's a coconut oil and tallow-based soap. I have just a sample size from Lewis, who's the person who provided me with this box of just a ton of stuff to go through. This is one of his favorite scents, and I can kind of understand why. It has sort of an initial sweet, a light vanilla perfume. There's definitely a base or an undertone of some amber, something a bit warm. The two scents go together very well. Initially, when I smelled this, my first reaction was, wow, that smells a little bit like Play-Doh, which for those of you that smell Play-Doh, that's a very familiar, instantly recognizable scent. And this smells a little bit like it, but now over time has been using a little bit. The sort of the sweet vanilla of the scent and the amber, sort of the warm notes of it definitely come out a bit more. Been very impressed with the soap. It's been easy to use and easy to lather, even in very hard water, both in Poznan and in London. Yeah, so the razor for today is this Wilkinson Sword Classic. It is a two-piece. You just unscrew it. Top comes loose. It's all plastic except for the metal in the handle. Today will be a brand new Astra Superior Platinum. I did buy an extra pack of the Wilkinson Sword blades, but I'm going to stick with an Astra in this one. So just put this in, and then just hold the top piece and the bottom piece together. That actually to me feels a little bit awkward when I do it, but it's really not bad. As soon as it gets going, it's really quite nice. And one of the benefits of this razor, I feel, is that it has the end caps covered. I feel like that's just like a smart design decision, honestly. Makes it very safe when you're trying to tighten up the razor. This has what I would consider to be a very sort of flat blade angle. This is something to bear in mind as you're trying to find the angle. Blade curvature is really is pretty minimal. Generally speaking, not an aggressive razor at all. Pretty mild, pretty efficient. So let me just wet my face again. So traveling with this travel container of soap and the Wilkinson Classic, or the sticky travel brush, again, the synthetic. I've already expressed my opinion on that one. I'm not going to cover that again. Yeah, a little floppy side to side, a little bit scrubby, actually, whatever. Still works great for travel. Just loading up inside the container. I've generally gone at this with a bit more of a dry brush than a wet brush, but I think a wet brush would work just as well. Yeah, a nice scent. When you get it wet, a bit more of the amber, or sort of the warm tones come out. All right, let's get that nice and loaded. That should do. Yeah, Dapper Dragon is one of the brands that I just haven't had a chance to get around to, so I was really quite pleased to get a sample of this. Just drip a bit of water onto the brush as well. Make sure that it starts off a little bit wet. Yeah, a really nice soap actually. Very easy to lather. Very creamy. Feels good when it goes on. You have like an immediate sense of sort of a good fundamental slickness to it. That definitely needs more water. Again, just dripping some onto the brush. It's always a hard question to answer when people ask, how do you know the lather is really ready? Well, sometimes it's really hard to tell just by looking at it, because of course it looks it looks good. It looks, white, like you've made a lather. But the fact is that that's still too dry. You can sort of feel a bit of resistance as you move the brush over it. It just feels a little too thick. Kind of a little too sticky. At least for me. So I'm going to add more water. And again, I'm just dripping some onto the tips of the brush. Just sort of lightly work it in and then continue to build the lather. Yeah, very nice creamy soap. Good and fatty, as it were. I'm gonna go one more. A little more water. But as you can see, that's got a nice bit of creamy sheen to it. There we go. Yeah, that sounds a little wetter. All right. Yeah, the sort of pulling all your stuff together for travel is just a matter of light, small, keep your packing to a minimum, and also what are you going to be okay with if that gets lost during, bag gets lost or gets stolen out of the hotel. All right, Wilkinson Classic, brand new Astra Platinum. Bit of a noisy razor. This is, I think, actually over 3 days worth of growth. Soap and the razor combination are making this really no issue. And I know that there's some people that comment occasionally about why I don't turn the razor over. So I normally just shave with one side and I don't turn it over. I realize that there are two sides to the razor, but I generally don't. I sort of don't like shaving with it with one side all sort of gunked up. That's me. I know that that's just me. I just don't like it. Yeah, the razor is very easy to use. Does feel really safe on the face. I think this really does make a very good starter razor, and you're not investing a lot of money in getting started. You start off with something like this. And even though this is, of course, a plasticky low-end razor, you're still going to be getting a very nice shave out of it. Hard to resist the lure of something new always around the corner, but let's say you couldn't get access to those razors. Would you be upset if this was your only option? No. All right, really quick, easy first pass. Soap is very slick when you get it wet. Rinsing in between passes, it's slick, but it also rinses off easily, which is not always the case with some of the tallow-based soaps. Okay, pass number 2. Now, this is another thing, by the way, where people just do it differently. I, for example, always rinse my face between passes. I know people don't. For me, I just like the feeling of just sort of rinsing off my face. Start clean every time. All right. Yeah, really nice, easy, creamy lather. Still plenty of that brush too, and it tends to get pushed down to the bottom. Man, that's made in very nice, thick, dense lather. Okay. off the razor and, okay, pass number 2 across the grain. Razor is also pretty forgiving in terms of angle because you can hold it kind of steep. You can certainly angle the head more if you want to. I've not really had a problem with just what I think most people would feel like is a pretty steep angle with the handle closer to the face than not. Doesn't feel tuggy or off. And the funny thing is the razor actually is got a really nice weight to it. You know, you think it's plasticky and lightweight. It's not. It's got a nice heft to it. Now, with the Gillette Silver Blues, which is what I shaved with this first, interestingly enough, right here in this bottom part of the pass, right there, tuggy and painful. Switch to the Astras, no problem. Yeah, for some reason, the Wilkinson Sword blade and the Astras, at least for me, do much better in this razor than a sharper blade like the Gillette Silver Blue. Both the across the grain and against the grain pass with this razor and that the Silver Blue, not comfortable. All right, mustache area. So this is one of the advantages of a razor that has no overlap at the ends here, is that it's very easy to get in a tight spot without worrying about that piece of exposed blade catching your nostril. Big fan of the design that has the blade fully enclosed, frankly. Okay, rinse off for pass number 3, against the grain. Yeah, still really fantastic slickness, but also easy rinse. Yeah, I've been really impressed with the soap. You know, it's a soap that's, you know, I've heard about it. You see a lot of people offer very positive reviews. Just never had a chance to get around to it, so I was really pleased to receive a sample of it. I like the scent. Nice tallow-based soap. Good performance even in hard water. All right, let's pull some of that extra lather out. There we go. All right, against the grain. Pass number 3. Excuse me. So light buffing in a variety of different directions, just on that part of my chin where the hair does in fact grow in a variety of directions. Soap makes buffing really easy, and I really like buffing for the final pass. Certainly for those areas, soap is really slick and makes that buffing pass really no problem at all. No pressure, just really just gliding over the skin. Yeah, the razor's a really good choice, honestly, for travel. You know, is it my favorite razor? Would I want to just use this every day because I just love it so much? No, but as a travel razor, really excellent choice. And in fact, if it's your first razor and you bought it because it's cheap and it comes in just like a standard cardboard backed, you know, plastic bubble kind of thing, really quite a nice razor for the price. It comes with 5 blades, and I think actually in terms of longevity, this ought to last quite a while, especially if you don't go all crazy tightening it up. Yes, that plastic screw thread might give out over time, but for the money, a really excellent way to start. And those Wilkinson Sword blades are tailor-made for the razor, just a great fit. And again, as I've said before, right here in spots like this where there is a fold in the skin or your windpipe sticks out and there's a bit of a curvature to follow, no exposed blade end is big help. And there we go. Well, 3 days of growth. Annihilated! Yeah, just a tiny touch up right under the chin. Very. Soap is excellent. Really, really good. All right, let me rinse off. Bit of a cool water rinse at the end. And then just to answer a question I think I may have caused a bit of confusion when I talked about using alum when I'm traveling. I don't only use alum when I'm on the road. I do actually use it pretty regularly at home as well. What I was trying to say was that if I have to choose between bringing a small piece of alum that can act both as an astringent and serve as a post-shave or aftershave and not have to drag along aftershave as well, if I'm trying to really travel light, this is 2 tools in one, so that's what I tend to prefer. Alright, let's let that sit just for 30 seconds or so and then do a nice cold water rinse. Yeah, I really like the alum. I know that it doesn't really work for everybody. It can be overly drying. People tend to leave it on for too long, or they're over shaving so it burns quite a bit. I do like it, and if it doesn't work for you, don't use it. If it does, you know, like the witch hazel, same kind of thing. If it works for you, great. Yeah, it's funny because I complain about Arco soap being drying. This just makes your skin feel kind of tight and dry, but it's not, I don't know, the end result is just very different in my experience. My skin doesn't feel dried out by the alum, although it is drying. It just feels good when you apply it and then rinse it off. Okay. The last thing I took with me was just a little bit of Aftershave Balm. I took the Captain's Choice shaving balm. This is the unscented in these little sample containers, but this is the perfect size for a couple days. I mean, this started off pretty full. I've used about 8 days worth, maybe 7 or 8 days. This may well be the last. Well, pretty close to using it up. Unscented, but again, a nice small container, which you could certainly refill from the larger one or put some other skin cream in. It's just a good idea to hold on to some of these containers so that when you do travel, and you are in fact trying to travel light, you have some extra containers around to put your products in. Yeah, balm does work very well. In this case, unscented. Not so much because I have an aftershave to put on or some cologne or something, but I just happen to have a travel size container of that. Yeah, balm just works out really well. Goes on easy, not sticky, not tacky. Well, that was a wonderful shave. I let it go for an extra day because I just want to make sure I had a chance to actually make another video using the products after that trip, but the time was kind of weird, so I had to go one extra day. But as you can see, did not matter at all. That was a wonderful, very clean, easy, zero irritation, really no effort shave. A shave using the following products. Number 1, 2-piece Wilkinson Classic using a brand new Astra Superior Platinum. Very nice combination. Like I said, the sharper blade in here did not do as well. I think a more medium, middle of the road blade, great fit for this razor. I will say that if you live in a place with hard water and you tend to develop soap scum on your razors, you're going to see it very dramatically on this razor. It is black. It instantly begins to show soap scum. But that's a good reminder to clean your razors when you're done. Number 2, I've pulled out the sample that I received into this slightly larger, just wider, more shallow container, which makes a great fit for being able to load the brush inside the container. This was the Dapper Dragon Tiamat. Yeah, a nice sweet vanilla and a bit of amber scent in there. Yes, for me it reminds me a bit of Play-Doh, but that is not a bad thing at all. Smells really good, and performance has been excellent. Easy to lather, a nice creamy, rich lather. Have had no issues building a lather in hard water. Good slickness when rinsing, and it also rinses clean, which I think actually is really quite nice. Lathered up, of course, once again with my preferred travel option, which is the synthetic brush. Yes, do I love my board brush more? 100%. Is it easier to travel with the synthetic shoved in a little tube? Yes, absolutely. After the shave, followed up with a rub of the old Alum, which works great for me. And finally, a little bit of the Captain's Choice Aftershave Balm, the unscented, for this shave. Well, I don't know about you, but that was a absolutely wonderful shave. Very happy with the outcome there. Skin feels fantastic, really close, comfortable, no irritation, lovely. Well, with that, let me say thank you again so much for watching. If you have questions or comments, of course, as always, please feel free to leave them against the video. And until next time, goodbye.